interpretation to that meeting outside is that you are probably the hand that is stoking Julius Abure's confrontation or disagreement or dispute, if you prefer, with the candidate of the party, the Labour Party. Yes, you are the one stoking that crisis between the two of them.
So who's the one stoking the problem we had in our own state? If I'm the one stoking, look, let me tell you. Anyway, I'm not here to help anybody who's my opponent. If they're having problems, it's my prayer that they should continue to have problem. Do you help your political opponent? Do you help your political opponent?
They're not politicians, Honorable Minister.
You're not what?
They're journalists.
They're not Nigerian, they're not politicians.
Journalists cooperate, but we don't know about politicians.
I can tell you the worst politicians we have are journalists. If you want me to give you that, I'll give you that.
That's not good.
There are even more politicians than we claim that we are politicians.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting. But Honorable Minister, let's go to your home state of Rivers.
Yes.
We saw this reconciliation between yourself and the suspended Governor Fubara, and a lot of people had hoped that in the spirit of reconciliation and goodwill, especially since this peace was brokered by the president, that by now we would have seen the lifting of the suspension and perhaps a reinstatement of Governor Fubara. Is there any conversation going on in that regard?
Was I part of those who declared a state of emergency?
Aren't you curious as to what exactly is delaying the restoration of democratic governance back in Rivers State?
Oh, I didn't know that what you're talking about. But the process now to restore democratic governance, is that not? Is that not?
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Now, you see, I've never seen people who are always that who have made peace. Means that when the governor comes back, that peace will continue. The whole thing you're talking about is not just about government; it has to do with the entire system. You need to heal once, and the governor has now come to tell you here that is not comfortable with what has happened. You have seen the governor say, look, that if President Tinubu did not declare a state of emergency, that he would have been impeached. So what does it tell you? I'm comfortable that happened, so that we would have all made peace. And by the time we come, we all work as a team. Do you want to rush just because you want the governor, and at the end of the day, you have not made any peace? And today, they are start taking to restore democratic governance, at least in the local level.
Let's talk about that. Your party, the PDP, had primaries to pick candidates for the local government election that is in about a month. My findings reveal something very curious, which is this kind of alliance between the PDP and the APC, not to oppose each other. I'm telling you what I found out.
No, but you're telling me now for the first time.
If I know, you know.
But that would be unfair.
Okay, let me put the question. Let me put the question, and then you tell me that it is not correct.
Okay.
What I gather is that in most local governments, there's that working alliance between the PDP and the APC, where the chairmanship candidate is on the platform of the PDP, the vice chairman will be from the APC. And if it's from the APC, the vice chairman will be from the PDP. And that was what happened in all the local governments, because your party, the PDP, and your other party, the APC, are in alliance.
No, we don't have statements.
Okay, sorry. The party that you are, in which you are a minister, the APC.
I'm not a party. I'm not a minister in APC.
APC government.
Fine.
So is that part of the peace that we are likely to see, the larger peace that we are likely to see in Rivers State, that is one political family?
Frankly speaking, you are the one telling me this now.
Really?
I say you are the one telling me this, and you have not given me the names of who is the chairmanship here, that APC is the party. You have not told me anything. You don't make a general statement that if PDP is the chairmanship candidate, APC is the party. Give me an example. See this local government. Obiakpo did what?
That's your local government.
Yes. Yes.
You were there. You attended the party primary.
What happened? the PDP candidate.
The APC didn't hold any primary.
I'm not aware of that. How would I know? What's my business? Listen, why not be patient for research to publish those who are participating, those who are not, before you jump to conclusion. Now, assuming they're not conceding that what they are saying here is an alliance. What is wrong? An alliance that will bring peace in a state, assuming they're not conceding. What do you like where you'll be having problems?
No.
Assuming that is even the arrangement, will you not be happy that for once that politicians can sit to say, look, let us not do what do you call this syndrome of only you, the one that takes it so look, this is our state, all of us are from here.
I just asked that question.
No, I said assuming, don't not conceding. I said assuming.
So you don't believe that is what
it's
is
a simple English. I said assuming what they did is correct.
That not considering.
I'm not considering to it because I'm not aware. But I said, assuming what they did, as you are saying, is correct, will you not even be happy that that is taking place to use it to advance other states to emulate that? So what? If that is the case, I thought you should have said, if that is correct, then encourage them. But for now, okay. I am not aware.
Minister, one, they say it is holding under a state of emergency, which is an anomaly. Yes. They also say the notice of election does not meet the statutory 90 days. It is 21 days. Are you not concerned? Plus, they also say, following my colleague, there's a pattern that has also emerged that your loyalists are emerging as the candidates of the chairmanship. It does look like your structure is back in place. What do you say to people like that?
I don't know who has defined who my loyalists are. But let me not already wait for the fundamental question you ask. Ignorance of the law is not an excuse. You know the problem I have in this country? People are used to television advocates. With all due respect, where you advocate law, it's not on television, it's in the courtroom. When the state of emergency was declared, they said it was illegal. How many of them have pursued the case till today?
Your party has.
Where is it? Have they pursued it? Have they pursued the case?
At the Supreme Court?
Have they pursued the case? Filing a matter for people to say we have filed a matter does not mean they want to pursue the matter. Who don't do respect to you is to play to the gallery. Who don't do respect. But let me come to the point. I am quoting Supreme Court judgment. Who went to court over that Supreme Court judgment? It was we. When we went to court, people were advocating on television. When the judge gave that judgment, that the election should not hope because it don't meet the requirement. You came out on television lambasting the judge that the judge took bribe. Yes. The repetition that the judge took bribe. The matter went to Court of Appeal. Court of Appeal upturned that judgment, and the matter went to Supreme Court. The House Court of the Land made a pronouncement and said the judgment of the lower court of the Federal High Court was right. Today it has become the law, is it not? It's not. So you are now quoting. All of them are now quoting. I even had INEC was quoting it. But asked INEC, during that matter, what was their position in court? Let me move further. He said an emergency is an aberration, but allowed by law. The law knows that we period that will be an emergency situation. The Emergency Act of 1961, I'm coming. Particularly Section 3 of that law provides that every emergency, and then the Governor General then was not President, Governor General. And you remember, the 1999 Constitution gives the President the power to modify laws of colonial period or even the military. And that was when in 2004, under President Obasanjo, He now brought the modification law of 2004 under the Emergency Act and retained those provisions that under the emergency rule, the president can suspend, modify some aspects of the law. The president can modify, suspend some aspects of the law and allow the president to make a regulation that will guide the governance of the emergency areas. And that was why the President Tinubu, based on the modification law of 2004 made by Obasanjo, now made the regulations. The first regulation, what you call emergency to conduct local government election, was made in June, no May, but was carried in June, where the president said, look, emergency to conduct local government election in order to bring back democratic structures in certain emergency areas. There's the need to suspend or modify the application of the Electoral Act of 2022, the application of the local government, the River State Local Government Independent Law, the River State Local Government Law, and the River State Local Government Election Tribunal Law, and gave 90 days within which the election should be conducted in order to bring back democratic structures. Mind, it is only in the local government that there is no democratic structure, which was notified by the Supreme Court. Now, when you now say emergency, that they have no power to conduct election, how could anybody say so? You remember the Supreme Court said where there's no local government, they cannot have access to funds from federation account. Yes. And no governor can set up caretaker committee. Is it not correct? Yes. Now, because of the emergency rule, that judgment was set aside, was kept at the bench, and to allow the local government to access funds. And that's why they appointed sole administrator in local government. You also do the Supreme Court said, look, because there's no budget for the state government, they cannot have access to federation account. Now, assuming there's no emergency rule, would local government have access funds today? Would the state have access funds today? Certainly not. So the essence of the emergency rule becomes imperative. No, I'm coming.
I'm just conscious of that.
No, this one should take more of your time than any other one. Now, the president, in his wisdom, to bring peace and restore democratic governance in local government, came again with another regulation, which was signed in July, that this election must be conducted within 30 days, because the president, from my understanding, does not want to extend the emergency rule. Because extending the emergency rule will not be palatable to the people. But then if you don't do local government election, and then you leave the emergency rule, how will local government now access funds? And when the governor cannot appoint caretaker committee based on Supreme Court judgment, and they cannot get money, is that not crisis in the local government?
The question is, how fundamental is that? Because if your party, one of the reasons why you were angry with your party was because it went to the north. It went to a northern candidate. They threw it open. They did not say
yes.
Now your party, you say things are beginning to settle there. If indeed, or when indeed they settle properly, and there's only to the south, will you be supporting a southern candidate from your party? Or will you still be supporting President Bola Ahmed Tinubu?
Why not? You would have asked me. Why do I think I got not to support President Tinubu? I would have loved that question. Let me tell you, I presented a paper in Abafima Awolowo University, and I did say the bane of our problem majorly is leadership. When you get the right leadership, things will begin to change, improve. If you bring somebody from the south in PDP, and I know it does not have the leadership qualities, take for example, every president in this country, right from 1999, had always said that oil subsidy is a scam. They believe so. But nobody has had the courage to say, we know it's a scam. What do we do? You know,
President Jonathan did.
I'm coming. You know, you don't know. If I do it now, if I don't do it, nobody was able to do it. Nobody. The day the man was sworn in, he didn't go to his office first before he took that decision.
Yeah, but you just heard President Jonathan did. And
Did
it was in the cabinet you served. President Goodluck Jonathan did, and there were protests. And then he returned.
Okay, but protests. Was there no protest in this? Was there no protest in this? Has he not been able to solve the problem?
Were they as strong as
What is strong? What
organized?
How do I know? How do I know? I would have known.
You are a minister.
What I'm talking about, see, let me tell you. Leadership. If you want to do something, let me tell you, don't do it haphazardly. If you know that, not temporarily, not small. Look, a president said, I am going to do this. He knows there will be challenges. He knows there will be a kind of a backlash. But he said, look, I'm going to do it. For a short time, we'll suffer it. But in the long run, we are going to benefit it. Today, look at the money each state is getting. Before, it was not. I've been taking that bold step. People suffered for it at the initial time, but we're coming to, stay with it, and things are beginning to change. That's what leadership is all about.